never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the Weekly Review. My name is Mike Larkin, and by my side, as always, is my boy, the dead man of RWT, Mr. Paul Morales. How are you, Paul?
I'm doing fine, Mr. Michael Larkin, and of course, this week we have a special guest.
That we do. He was on, Paul, you were on our show for Uncaged, talking about Reza Ramon Chico, and now we got him on with us, our boy, the one, the only, Mr. DC himself. Daniel Crimmins, my co-host on Uncaged. How are you?
I am fantastic. Great week of wrestling. We got some debuts. We got, some title changes, which fickle fans. All I can say is fickle fans.
Oh, yes. So before we get into the week, we do have our normal topics. And what I actually want to play is the last top show that we did, Paul. This is one I forgot to play. And I figured we started off hot because it was a hell of a topic. So they did a panel on Piers Morgan's Unleashed, Uncensored show, which is on YouTube. It's a 46-minute show. I managed to get through it all. It was
poor man.
I know. It's for the show. I do it for the show, not the sickos. It's Piers Morgan.
I'll pay you.
It's Piers Morgan. Here's his lineup for this, folks. It's Piers Morgan has Maven, Jonathan Coachman, Vince Russo, bro, the former Charlie Caruso, and as you can see in the corner here, the man who everybody did not know was there. It was a shock to see Phil Mushnick. So they were talking about everything from the steroid trial, how WWF was back in the day, which I find it kind of funny and peculiar because Maven and Coach didn't come into the WWE until after the steroid trial. So it was them talking about McMahon and the afterwards McMahon and how better it is and just everything that went on during that time. And they buried the living piss out of Phil Mushnick, and they didn't know Phil Mushnick was there. And Vince Russo had some things to say because he was there at the trial when Phil Mushnick was. He was making stuff up in the New York Times. There was a lot of stuff that really went on with this, but this was the moment that got everybody. And all I can say, folks, is don't call me bro.
Oh, Jesus, proof. I just tried to prove. How come? I called you out. I called you out 30 years ago when you made it up. You made stuff up, Phil, 30 years ago,
keep
bro.
Shouting, but you're a fraud.
You're going to sit there and say we haven't spoken because maybe you're senile, bro.
Well, no,
maybe
we talked a lot.
Maybe you just got out of the chair, bro. You reported on stuff that was never said.
Don't call me bro.
I'll call you whatever. I'll call you a liar then. How about that, bro? I'll call you a liar. You reported on stuff that was never said. I recorded.
You have no credibility.
You went in the New York Post.
You used to be a guy.
You was never said. Yeah, what? What, bro? I was what? I used to be what? What I used to be, bro.
Are you going to let me speak?
Go ahead. Tell me what I used to be.
You let me speak?
Go ahead. What I used to be,
did you once write a newsletter about pro wrestling? Did you run once? And weren't you very, very anti-McMahon, right? I got the copies to the lie.
Show us the copies right now, Phil. Show us the copies right now. Anti-McMahon, my butt, bro. I was fair. I was a fair. That's why I went to the symposium to hear his side of the story, because guys like you were burying him. So I was, there's got to be another side to the story. That's why I went and you didn't go, because you didn't want to hear the other side of the story, because you had to sell newspapers, bro. You're the fraud.
All righty. So that was that. I can see Dan's face. We'll let him start first. Go ahead, Dan.
I'm not a fan of hers, but props to Charlie Caruso or Charlie,
whatever her name is now, her real name, yeah.
You could tell, like, her face is just like, why am I doing this?
Like, why am I here? Like
somebody do something. Like, where's an adult here? And Coach is just sort of like, this is bad.
Maven is just laughing and just so entertained by
he's trying not to like you have guys that are like grandpa age. Like, y'all familiar with the movie Grumpy or Old Men?
Yes, sir.
That's
Dave.
That's Dave.
It's what this is. And you know what? Like, Piers Morgan's what he does.
He likes to stir the pot. And we got it. We got two 60-year-old men. For the sickos.
Yeah.
We got two 60-year-old men fighting about something for over 30 years ago. And you have one guy in Phil Mushnick who was still stuck in 1995. And then you got Vince Russo, who's Vince Russo. But in that bro.
Don't call me bro.
So I got
wait a second. Charlie Caruso didn't come in until
like later. Like she was
like the mid 2010s.
Yes.
Yeah, like 2016 or so.
Yeah, 2015, 2016 that's all. I mean, what the hell does she know about it? I mean, she was probably barely even born about that time.
Right.
What the hell was that? I mean, you're trying to bring up shit from 1995, 1993, 1994 when WWE was, at its worst.
Yeah, and Maven was sitting there, and the Joe Mushnick's like, "Oh, but how many people died under McMahon's watch?" And he said, "Too many." He goes, "Oh, well, that you're just going to look at that as irrelevant." And it's like, no. The point being is, yes, a lot of them passed away, but they're in a position now, and everything that's been put into place, so that doesn't happen anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's the point. So it doesn't happen anymore. But Phil Mushnick
was, I mean, when we were coming up,
right,
Paul, especially you and me. It was like seeing a wrestler die in their 60s was rare. You were seeing 30s, 40s,
right?
Like maybe 50, maybe. Now we're seeing guys live longer.
Yeah, because they're taking care of themselves. They're not doing all the stuff that a lot of people were doing then. I mean, you're talking about guys who were injecting themselves with steroids. I mean, and you're talking about doctors who were just like, I'm going to prescribe it to you guys and you guys just take it for whatever, and he may have said, this is how many days a week, how many times you should take it a week. And of course, were they listening to them? No, because they were wondering why the hell they kept coming back for more, because they wanted to build themselves up.
That doctor is still practicing.
Yep.
Somewhere
in Pennsylvania. I think he's like not a cardiologist or pulmonologist. He's something.
But I mean, still though, I mean, you look at WWE in the 80s or throughout the 80s. This isn't even just like, hey, I'm going to look at it in just within a few years, like baseball. Like baseball, we could talk about the steroid era being between like 93 to like 2000. Literally, that's the era. But I mean, if you look at it, WWE did it throughout the 80s. They did it in through the early 90s until finally until the trial just all of a sudden started happening. And they had to take notice. They had to make they had to make changes,
And I think it's honestly, it's more of a reflection on society. Society's changed. Like, we're not seeing wrestlers like in the 80s, the big muscled up guys anymore. Like, look at the world champions, Gunter.
Yep.
Cody.
Yep.
Trick. Mox, Zack Sabre Jr., Nick Namath, like none of them.
They're not. Those would be the mid card guys, and I'm not. Maybe even if at best.
It's a change.
But that's true though. But that is true though. I mean, you look at Nick Namath, and he would be a cruiserweight. And in WCW,
he'd be a jobber nowadays. Back in the day,
yeah. For like the TV title, cruiserweight title, something like that. Like
not even.
It's a different time period. And again, Phil Mushnick's stuck in the past. I think in today's day and age, like we mentioned, folks, it's better that we have the safety precautions that we have, being safe and spectacular. And that is what gives us the great wrestling thing, especially with Vince McMahon no longer being in power. We now have many implementations and implications of what we get to see for a better professional wrestling industry. And speaking of the professional wrestling industry, Samantha Irvin made some headlines this week. She responds to comments on her Instagram post about leaving WWE by saying she doesn't love being an announcer and that WWE didn't see any other future besides this for her. And as you can see here in this photo, she responded to a fan saying, "I don't like announcing. I'm serious. Announcing was only supposed to be my way in. I wanted to manage, maybe even become a general manager one day, but WWE saw no other future for me besides announcer. I love watching the action, but I don't love being an announcer." And she said that I love WWE and I'm so proud and honored I got to share all the moments with fellow fans. And then at the end of this, someone wrote, "Your untalented husband did this, huh? My husband is a millionaire, so yes, I don't have to do a job I don't like anymore." Let's start with the first part before we get to the Ricochet comment. Paul, I'll start with you, my friend. Your thoughts on Samantha Irvin's comments about not liking announcing, wanting to be a manager, but she is grateful for her time and tenure in WWE.
You know, I'm pretty sure that there were a lot of people who didn't like positions in WWE. I'm pretty sure that they thought of themselves as being something more. I'm sure Renee Paquette, Renee Young, formerly Renee Young, probably wanted to do more in WWE. I look at the referees that have trained, the female referees that were training as wrestlers and just became referees. I'm pretty sure they didn't want to just do refereeing, but they're doing it because they're still in WWE and they're doing, they're excelling at it. I think Samantha had a singing career. I mean, of course she could. I mean, she was on America's Got Talent. She did the whole thing with the fruit, but, she came out and belted. She sang, and obviously she could probably hang with many of the stars of superstar or many of the stars musicians today is what I'm saying. She can hang with them. So I think if she wanted to do more, hey, maybe being outside of WWE will allow her to do that.
Agreed wholeheartedly. And I mean, I think from my personal standpoint, I think this is a woman who's a Jill of all trades, who can really do anything from sing, who can play the flute, who can really do everything that we saw. I mean, in such a short tenure, being in 3 years within the WWE auspices, she knocked it out of the park. And I really am just excited to see where she goes forward on her journey. But God dang it, man, she gave us so many great memories. And like we said last week, Paul, Lillian being back even makes it much sweeter because we all love Lillian Garcia. So, I mean, props to Samantha Irvin. And the other part before we get to our boy DC over here, your thoughts on that comment about Ricochet with everything talking about your husband did this, huh? And that he's a millionaire. So, yes, I don't have to do a job I don't like anymore. Your thoughts?
What?
Well, Paul.
Who was that directed? Was that directed to me or?
No, I was Paul. I was the Paul. Then I'm going to you, DC.
Look. Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Is that he may be a millionaire, but of course he ain't gonna dictate where the hell she goes.
Right.
If she wants to go wherever the hell, or she wants to do whatever the hell she wants to do, guess what he's gonna be? A supportive husband.
Right.
If you choose a different career path, guess what? As your husband, I'm gonna support you. Should you decide to do something else? Hell, what if she wanted to go into construction? What if she wanted to be a construction worker? Guess what Ricochet is going to do? I'm going to support you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for all we know, she could play the banjo too. You said Jill of all trades.
Hell to the yeah, man.
She could probably play the spoons for all we know.
Put her in the damn fiddle band.
Yeah, put her in the damn fiddle band.
Maybe the mouth harp.
I like
there you go.
So Daniel,
she's going to break out the harmonica like homeboy from Blues Travelers.
Oh my goodness, yes, it was a heartbreak. Give me the runaround, baby. So Daniel Crimmins, your thoughts on Samantha saying she didn't like ring announcing and the comment about Ricochet?
I think it's with anybody, any job, anybody. If you're not happy in the position, nothing's keeping you there.
Right.
Ricochet wasn't happy. So with the position he was in, he left.
Yep.
And she's not super young anymore. Like, if she's going to make this singing thing work, now is the time.
Now's the time to go for it.
And I hate to say it, but the entertainment industry is a fickle business. Bryan Danielson.
Yes. And also Samantha Irvin is 35 years old. So Daniel.
Exactly. So the time is now. go for it. And
but if you look at age in music, here's where I think we could probably all agree on.
Right.
That you remember adult contemporary music when we were younger, D?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was always the older people, and then the younger people had like new music.
Right.
You know what they don't do in hip hop is that everybody shits on the older generation for being so fickle and talking down to like the younger generation of hip hop, but there's no adult contemporary for hip hop.
Nope.
It's either you're on this level or you're not. In music, in like pop music, we'll just take like Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift would be like the upper echelon of like artists. Billie Eilish would be another name that would be on that upper echelon of artists. Beyonce up there. Then you look at everybody else in the middle, like Olivia Rodrigo, Selena Gomez. Where would Samantha fit in between there?
Exactly. Like there's very few spots.
Yeah, and that would be it. If she's just putting out music for the sake of, guess what? I love what I do and I can love the music that I do. I'm pretty sure with the connections that she had in WWE, she could work with Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Snoop Dogg can lead her in the right direction to, other people. And there are probably like 100 different artists that have gone through WWE. Look at Megan Thee Stallion, who does the theme for
SmackDown.
For SmackDown. So
even
that's what I'm saying though, is that this woman has different outlets that she can take, or different routes that she could take if she chooses to take them.
I mean, look at old school. You had Timbaland there. Timbaland has worked with a lot of the WWE.
And also Lin-Manuel Miranda, huge wrestling fan.
That's another name too.
And but to address the Ricochet comment, and Mike, I've said this numerous times. I despise tribalism in wrestling. Like it's disgusting. Like, does she really think Ricochet has that kind of sway?
I mean,
I'm sure she went to him. I'm sure she probably said, "Hey, I'm thinking of leaving. What do you?" And he probably said, "Hey, if that's what you want to do,
do it.
Do it."
Like,
I don't know. Like, I look at music in this aspect. Like, it's either you're good. It's either you could find the right producers and they help you excel, or you're just making music for the sake of just making music. Right. And it's either you find artists in the genre that you're gonna work in, or you just decide, I'm just gonna go in the studio, I'm just gonna make what I'm gonna make. You look at Lillian Garcia. Lillian Garcia went into the studio, did what she wanted to do because she loved music. She loved singing. So that's all she did. Yeah, she said in past interviews, even on her own podcast, she's mentioned how I got started with music is I just started writing poetry and I just started writing music. So finding beats or finding musicians that share my love, that's all I wanted, and she did it.
And with Lillian Garcia, like we know she's back full time. We don't know if she's back permanently, for how long she's back. But I'll take her for as long as we got her. Paul, you and me, we remember the glory days of Lillian Garcia. How utterly incredible she is, and Samantha Irvin gave us a lot of good. Like, and I think it's a WrestleMania. She had a WrestleMania moment at WrestleMania 40.
Yep.
And I think she helped make Cody's win bigger than it was.
Oh yeah.
That emotion in her voice, you can't fake that.
Right, and that's what it's about, evoking emotions, eliciting reactions in every form of presentation. And I'm sure there are a lot of people that didn't like her for that because they felt she was over the top. But to those people,
it was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so terrible that, you know what, people turned off their TVs right after she announced.
I know, right? It was horrible.
Yeah, she didn't get almost fucking 100 million fucking streams on YouTube.
Michael Buffer didn't endorse her at all. No.
Yeah, Michael Buffer. Who the hell is that guy, man? He's a has-been, man. Whatever.
The dude who literally
never did anything in his life.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Oh!
That's literally all he's got.
Yeah.
Like,
That's all he's got.
He's the boxing guy.
Yeah, he's the boxing guy.
Your brother is better than you, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, at least
you want a bigger insult? Jimmy Lennon Jr. is better than you.
Oh, wow. You went there.
Bruce Buffer at least puts some dang emotion when he announces.
Yes, he
does.
does.
He does the whole,
he does.
It's time.
For the main event. Yeah, you got to love Bruce Buffer, too. The Buffers, man. Oh,
I always said I wanted to see an MMA fight between those two. Bruce would kick the shit out of Michael Buffer. He'd beat his ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael Buffer would be crying about the ratio.
And Mike Tyson being the referee.
Oh God! Don't tempt us, jeez Louise.
That's gonna be a fucking train wreck.
Speaking of train wreck, a lot of people lost their goddamn minds this week, and Paul and I talked about it our last show, but we're going to refute it here with Dan. So it came out because we talked about the line with Carlito saying, I got to learn Chinese with Io and Kyrie from Raw. And, well, a lot of people were like, he should apologize. What the hell's wrong with you, Carlito? Derper. So Brian Alvarez on the Carlito learn Chinese line, here's what happened. And everybody's like, how did Io and Kyrie feel? Here we go.
I was told by the same person that said that the Carlito line was an ad-lib that Io and Kyrie did not have a problem with it. They saw it as him playing an idiot, and that was that. Well,
which is exactly what we said.
Which is exactly what I said.
Yes.
Hold on. You know what? Let me go find that clip, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what I said. I said it's him either being an idiot, either that or he's just. It was a Freudian slip.
Right.
So if we're going to say it's him just being an idiot, ding, ding, I get 2 points.
Exactly. Like, we both we're like, it's a character. He's playing the idiot character of the Judgment Day. Like, what is wrong with you people? Because they were ready to cancel Carlito, fire Carlito. Again.
Pretty soon we're going to get hashtag fire Carlito on X.
Yep.
People are looking for any little reason to get upset.
Right.
Like, Carlito's playing the idiot. Like, what is so wrong? Like, was it a horrible comment? Yes. But, like, it's a story. It's a character.
I made the thing to Paul last week, and I'll say this to you, Dan, because you can equate to me. We all grew up with the ruthless aggression era. It's not like back in 2006 when he was asking Maria if she spits or swallows. That was way worse than what we got with that. That was way fucking worse.
I mean, WWE by today.
Did she ever answer that question, by the way?
Yeah, Dan, right? Come on, Dan. Like, actually, yeah, wait. Hold on. I got to go back to what Paul said. You said it was. Yes.
I said, did she ever answer that question?
Yes, she said online that I swallow, and then he smiled. Yes,
and he just said, "That's cool."
That's cool." Much like he did with Liv Morgan in the friggin' when he saw the photo of her. That's exactly what. And when friggin' he dropped the thing from seeing Raquel, he's being the idiot. People, stop fucking getting offended.
He's playing an idiot. Like,
oh my god,
he is this version of Judgment Day's R-Truth.
Exactly. Yes. So. For those that wanted to cancel Carlito and have Carlito be fired and apologize, Io and Kyrie didn't care. There you go.
And you can go fuck yourselves.
You can go fuck yourselves.
Next. To quote Rikishi, I'm going to say this as respectfully as I can. Go fuck yourself.
Well, we move on to our next topic. So this is via PW Insider. There has been whispers and comments that women are now getting paid at the level of men with these new deals in the WWE.
3 simple words.
Hell
about
yes.
fucking time.
Thank you.
Thank you. As it should be. As it should be.
Yeah. Like if
and it should be, and you shouldn't be on that Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair level of things. I mean, everybody is going out there, I mean, granted, they're going to earn their money, but they're going out there and fucking finally being paid the same amount as men, even if they're mid-card women getting paid as the mid-card men. That's perfectly fine. If the upper class of women are getting paid the upper class of the men, congratulations, you guys. Equal opportunity for everybody, and everybody get paid fucking equally. That's all anyone has ever fucking wanted in wrestling.
And I'll even add, a lot of times the women's wrestlers, they put on better matches than the guys do.
Hell to the they do.
Thank you.
I mean, you want to go back in time, NXT Brooklyn, Sasha Banks versus Bayley. Still one of my absolute favorite women's matches.
Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky in the Fatal 4-Way when Sasha won the title in 2015. That takeover.
You have so many great women's matches out there, and they deserve it.
Becky and Trish in the cage, like everyone from what they're doing now, from the Lyra Valkyrias and the Sonias and the Zoes and the Shaynas to the Nias to the Tiffany's, everybody on this card has been killing it. This is one.
Hey, it's Tiffy time.
Yes, it is, very much so,
and it's gonna happen very, very soon.
Very, very soon.
I'm calling it next Saturday.
God, please no.
We're gonna talk about that later.
God, please no. Any place but there, please, God, no.
Oh my goodness. But that's what we have, folks. We have so many great women here in the WWE, from NXT into the main roster. Like, it's an exciting time, and all these women deserve it.
I'm tired of hearing about Jeddah being the most progressive country in
fucking Riyadh. Goddamn. All right, we'll get to that in a little bit. So we move from the WWE side of things, and now we're going to the AEW.
Like, real quick, if I can just say it.
Of course.
They are the most progressive country. They're only just below them, Russia.
Oh, fuck. Okay. No, I got to add on to that. All right. Since you're bringing this up.
SummerSlam in Russia next year.
And just below them, North Korea.
Oh, fuck. All right. I'm going to say this. The presentation, and I know we're going to talk about this later, but the presentation of these shows are way better than when we had the Brothers of Destruction against DX and Shane McMahon becoming best in the world.
That never happened.
Yes, and Goldberg and Taker.
Hold on. Control, Alt, Delete.
Yes. The presentation's better now, but we still don't like the fact that they go over there. That's the main thing.
And I get it. It's the same thing that UFC going over there, because, same company. UFC goes over there, and they were just there this past weekend.
Yep.
To do a UFC out there. So, or was it last weekend? No, it was this past weekend.
Yeah.
That they were all the way down there. I'm all getting a notification at 7 a.m. saying the UFC is starting on ESPN Plus, and I'm like,
what
the hell? I'm like, where the hell are they at? Then I had to remember. Never mind.
Yeah. So
let's not forget the time where they wouldn't let the WWE plane take off.
That too. They would not let them leave.
To be fair, if that hadn't have happened, we wouldn't have gotten one of the greatest Survivor Series storylines with the NXT invasion.
And we wouldn't have gotten Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan on that SmackDown.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's like, I guess, thank you.
Thank you. So,
I think the one thing I would like for them to go back to, no offense, is the World Heavyweight Champion, the WWE Champion, and the NXT Champion go all at each other.
Yeah.
I like matches to continue, and yes, we're getting War Games, every year. But why does the world champion always have to be involved in one of those cage matches?
Right.
And don't get it twisted. I used to like. I mean, DC probably did too, those 5-on-5 matches back in the day.
Yeah, I miss them.
You get and it's like it gets everybody on the roster on basically on the show. That's exactly what it is. I mean, you get your tag teams out there, you get, your mixed a mix of mid-carders, and then you get your upper people, you get your your champions and that elite group of people, in a match, and that's what I liked, that traditional one. At least if there's maybe one or two, it gets people on the card. You still want to do war games. Hey, you could still have those war game matches, but I would still like to see at least the main card titles.
Yeah.
I would still like to see maybe the North American champion, the U.S. champion, the Intercontinental champion all face each other in a match. Yeah, but I mean, still be involved maybe in war games, but just to have them inside of a match, that would be cool.
It's funny. Every time you said war games, in my head, I keep thinking of William Regal.
War games.
Just shouting like
war games.
Can we just have him come out when they announce it and just shout war games? And then
I will say
that's all I wanted him to announce. I thought when they showed him on the screen tonight, that's what I thought he was going to say.
Let's put that to fruition because we're going to get into the card a little bit. We're going to get to NXT, but
we put it out in the universe.
You did.
This is in your court.
To quote LA icon LeVar Ball, I speak it into existence.
All right. LeVar Ball. So William Regal has announced
Where the hell are his kids now? Shit.
Oh, fucking.
Ain't none of them playing. Anyways, back to William Regal. Sorry. I don't want to go there, but yeah.
Yeah, they're embarrassed is what they are. Anyway, so we have William Regal is going to be the quarterman for Alexis King as he takes on his son, Charlie Dempsey, Tuesday for the Heritage Cup. You know good goddamn well that William Regal is screwing Alexis King and joining up with his kid. You know good goddamn well he is screwing him.
If you recall the backstage segment, he said, Alexis King said to him, I don't know how I can say thank you. And Regal says, you will. You'll find a way.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm intrigued. I'm really looking forward to that on Tuesday. We also have
there's gonna be some fuckery. There'll be some fuckery there. Don't get it twisted.
We got Tatum Paxley and Wendy Chu in a casket match on Tuesday, which is going to be even sweeter. I'm really looking forward to that, gentlemen. I think that's going to be something that's going to be really intriguing. And before we even get more into NXT and everything, talk and do our predictions for Crown Jewel, we are up to our AEW news points, and this is why I love these two gentlemen. So, all right, Daniel Garcia, you dumbass.
I'll pay you.
I'll pay you. And you can pay Daniel Garcia. So Daniel Garcia and his dumbass goes, this is what he said in a recent interview. Hating on AEW is a very popular thing, and it gets people a lot of attention. And I feel like a lot of these things come from people who retired their jerseys. We never hung it when the rafters, and we don't even remember what their numbers were on their jerseys. A lot of those people are trying to get a new career off hating on AEW and hating on people who are trying to be successful. Hi, Daniel Garcia. Shut your punk-ass mouth.
What is it that I continually say on this damn show?
Yeah, I know.
The only reason why I hate AEW, and I mean it, I just dislike this one thing.
Yep.
Is that you don't have any solidified stories on this show.
And they can't take criticism.
And you can't take fucking criticism.
Yep.
For the life of me, you guys can't just shut the fuck up and listen to fucking people tell you. It's not that we don't like. I mean, granted, you can go out there and throw out as many people as you want and have fucking excellent matches. But if you're not telling a story to fans, you're not going to get new fans to come in and want to watch your product. And strictly, Tony Khan has said, who is he doing it for?
The Secos.
The internet.
Those are the only people who are supporting him. It's not drawing in any new fans. So you have to be able to cater. Bully Ray said the same thing. In order for you guys, in order for AEW to bring in new people, you have to develop stories.
Bingo.
And I mean, not just, hey, I'm going to do this week, this next week, and then all of a sudden 3 weeks later, you forget what the fuck you're doing. And then you end up on something else completely different. And this rivalry, you try and bring it up a year later, a year and a half later with, oh, hey, remember when we fought last week? Remember I told you, I told you this exact same shit. Why the hell are they bringing shit up between Penelope Ford,
Jamie Hayter,
and Jamie Hayter in just a fucking conversation? And remember when I faced you a year and a half, or when we were the last time I was on Dynamite was 2 years ago.
2 years
because
ago.
This is and that, no vignette like they did with Raquel.
Yeah,
you're just supposed to go out there and all of a sudden know what the hell she's talking about, because AEW fans are supposed to remember all this shit.
Prime example: Wardlow came out with Arn Anderson. Remember that one time? No. Hey, QT Marshall screwed Wardlow out of the TNT title against Powerhouse Hobbs. Remember when he said this on Rampage? No. Like, I don't. And I said to you, Chris Statlander and Camille 2 weeks ago, she's like, oh, she's been a pain in my ass for 2 weeks. And all of a sudden we have a match on the goddamn show this week. And it makes no fucking sense. And all of a sudden she's a babyface. And now she's going against Mercedes.
Randomly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And the friggin', don't even get me started with Adam Cole and MJF. The Kingdom, they come out and it's like, oh yeah, buddy, we'll go after MJF. So all of a sudden, the Kingdom are baby faces. What the fuck are they doing?
Add to it, the only reason Cole being the good guy makes no fucking sense.
I know.
The only reason they're doing it this way is because MJF didn't want to be a face. Well, I'm sorry. If I'm the boss and you're getting over as a face, and you're fucking staying as a face.
Yes, exactly.
How many people in WWE didn't want to turn heel or face, but
they made it
Triple
work.
H has said there were times where they turned him face and he didn't want to do it.
Randy Orton.
Edge.
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
Yep. He hates being
Kevin
a baby.
Owens. Kevin Owens didn't want to be a face because he was a better heel.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I don't like Orton as a face. Like, I have expected him to be the guy.
It's just fucking weird.
It is.
And, like, there's no explanation of it. And you know what? I'll play devil's advocate. WWE does it too. Like, this whole Uso reunion thing.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have happened this quickly. Where the fuck were they on Raw when Jay was getting his ass kicked?
This is true. I mean, they're building it to, and I like them. The pop was huge, and then Roman being out there. Now all of a sudden, we're gonna get Roman and the Usos. Yeet. Roman and the Usos against the new bloodline. I'm for it, but also I hear where you're coming from, and this also brings to discussion of why did the Motor City Machine Guns, after 3 matches, all of a sudden win the tag titles? It made sense for the story of Jay getting his lick back on the bloodline and what happened.
It's beyond that. It's beyond that.
Good.
And I explained it to the guys. I know. So the thing of it is, you had the Guerrillas of Destiny, which I'm still calling them that. Fuck it. I don't care.
Okay.
They're always going to be GOD.
Yep.
With the WWE Tag Team titles. Then you have the Usos back together. You're not going to put the titles back on the Usos, because I guarantee once this storyline is done, Jay's probably going back to Raw as a single star.
As
he should.
What needs to happen, you've got to get the tag titles off of them quickly. Could DIY have done it? Yeah, but I think realistically, we're probably getting Ciampa turning heel.
All right.
So, God, please, no.
All right. I'll go on to his point. I'll add on to
Let me finish it.
Okay.
So, of all the teams you have, you are paying good money for the Motor City Machine Guns, one of the absolute greatest tag teams of all time. Fight me, I do not care. They are fucking amazing and have been for years.
Oh, yeah.
They should have been in WWE fucking years ago, but Vince doesn't like smaller wrestlers.
Right.
So, you want to get them over in a big way? What better way to do it?
No, I concur, and I mean to add on to
and
your
it makes people want to watch the show because it. Remember, Paul? You remember what was the old slogan in WWE in the mid-90s? Anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation.
Exactly.
Bring that back.
I think with Dan's point about DIY, I will say this. I don't see them doing Gargano and Ciampa again. I can see them Ciampa being added because it's like, hey, man, you and Alex Shetty, your buddy. It's not your buddy. That's your opponent. I could see a more aggressive DIY side, them turning heel turn. I equate it. Look at the TNA. Like you mentioned, Motor City Machine Guns for years. When they wrestled Generation Me, the Young Bucks, and Generation Me became the heels in that feud, I could see something equated to that where DIY are the heels chasing the Motor City Machine Guns. Either way, I'm here for it, but I think in the direction that we're going now, I think we need both a DIY heel turn.
Yeah, but the one thing in WWE, the one thing that WWE is lacking are heels.
Sure.
Because they have a lot of baby faces, but very few heels.
Credible heels, at least.
Credible heels, at least. That's why I liked Kevin Owens going back to a heel. Give me Randy Orton as a heel, and I'm going to be better. If we ever get that damn Street Profits heel turn, God, I'm going to lose it. Because that's something that needs to happen too.
Yeah. And not the, the whole happy-go-lucky bullshit, which...
No, I want that Hurt Business like they were gonna do it.
Mentality.
That mentality. That's what I want.
And you know what? I've been seeing this on Smack. I was watching, on SmackDown the other day, and I thought, you know what? I know they're both great single stars, but Carmelo Hayes and Andrade as a tag team. You can't tell me that wouldn't be entertaining as hell.
Well, after everything that they've been through and they form a tag team would be very entertaining. And I mean, you got the three-way now with LA Knight going into
yeah.
Crowd Jewel. I'm here for it, whatever they do. I think it absolutely means something. Bro. And I got to say something about means something. We were pissed because on the topic of AEW, before we get to Uncle Dave, AEW, we mentioned the feuds and the stories. 3 weeks. Pins him in a tag when he goes through a table, loses to him at the pay-per-view at Wrestle Dream, and then all of a sudden we're going to get a ladder war. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Jericho is the new Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion.
Hi, guys!
New MMA! Yeah!
I'll pay you!
I am actually going to tell you something that I'm probably going to bite my tongue saying.
Paul, don't do it, Paul. Don't do it.
That was a really good match.
All right. Yeah, it was, but still, come on.
Shit ending.
Okay, yes. Shitty ending. I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. But what did I say with the last pay-per-view that in order to make Mark Briscoe into a credible freaking champion, he had to be an actual former champion.
Which he did.
And I don't mean ROH champion. I mean an actual real champion. Mm-hmm. In order to be a credible world champion, much like his brother used to do all the time.
Right.
He'd have to fight the best. And when Mark won, when Mark beat him, it was like I kept thinking to myself, okay, this is level 1. How do you try and make this man a better champion going forward down the line? Is that he has to lose that title because he has to be able to chase that title again. So I didn't like the finish. I thought it was a great match. I despise the finish, but it makes sense for the story if they continue this as a story.
And they'll fuck it up.
Hopefully, TK, don't fuck this up.
Well, look at what we already went past Mark Briscoe, and now we're getting Chris Jericho versus Tomohiro Ishii out of fucking mothballs.
That was the part that fucking Bully Ray fucking hated. Him and fucking Dave LaGreca went in on them.
It was ridiculous.
Okay, it made no sense that you just won this title. Now, had you waited until Wednesday to bring him out, perfectly fine. To bring him out immediately after, what they should have done is that they should have panned to Mark Briscoe's face, laying there, beaten, battered. After that, after everything that had happened, defeated. That's how it should have ended the show. But no, we ended up with Tomohiro Ishii coming out, which again made absolutely no fucking sense.
Well, you know what they're gonna say? Oh, remember that time when Chris Jericho was?
Remember that? Yeah, exactly. Remember that time when
When
Chris
they had
Jericho
that match
was
for
over
Ring
in
of
New
Honor
Japan?
title?
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
God, that was 2
Nobody
years.
cares about
All right.
that. Literally nobody.
Good night, everybody.
We cares.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about what happened 2 years ago. What's going on now, Tony? Now what's going on now? Oh, God. And Brian Cage, like we mentioned, all of a sudden being in the fucking... Oh, all right, we're going to mention this. Besides the fact that now he's in the Don Callis family, because this ties
With
in.
great value, Drew.
Oh, poor Lance Archer. Poor
And I thought it was Drew from Timu.
Drew from Timu. Yes.
Drew.
All right.
Actually, no, great value stuff.
I like that one though. It
Dollar
was funny.
General
I thought when you said it the first time, I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Oh. Now, here's my thing. Everybody raved over it. The AEW fans did. Kyle Fletcher cut this long ass promo where the crowd is literally chanting at him, "Wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up," because this thing went on forever to explain why he's not
Forever.
So what it leads to is him shaving his head to get rid of, being compared to Will Ospreay. Whatever. The reason why I get his presentation, because he's been the job guy of the Don Callis family, and now all of a sudden we're going to get him and Will, the battle of the former mates, at Full Gear, and I'm like, I don't care. Bruv. What were your guys' thoughts? And I'll start with DC on this of Kyle Fletcher shaving his head.
Mike, there's a Randall Keith Orton reference I like to make from time to time, and you know the one.
I know. Go ahead.
Stupid.
All right, Paul.
I mean, I get you're preaching to the internet sickos, and
the sickos?
More power to you. Have at it. But let me say this, and the fact that people aren't seeing this clearly with this new TV deal, Warner is going to be exerting some more authority. If they're giving Tony Khan this much money, they're going to want some shit.
Oh, yeah.
They've been happy before, but now they're putting you on max. Yeah, they're going to be wanting some stuff in return. They're going to want, and the business world, they call it ROI, return on investment.
Yep.
You remember about a year or two ago, it was before the TKO acquisition, when WWE sponsors and the networks kind of showed up at TV and they're like, these ratings are shit. Fix it.
Yep. We remember.
Oh, you remember a couple years back?
Mm-hmm.
And we got a couple good weeks of TV, and then Vince is like, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. But it's that same thing. And like another thing, we talk about drop storylines. The whole thing with the Elite taking over. The fuck happened to that?
It was just for publicity to friggin' talk about, him being on with the neck brace on the football.
Yeah, and why are the Young Bucks still coming out like they're, and getting recognized as EVPs? I mean, yeah, we already know that, but why is it, if they're not an authority figure in AEW, as authority figures in AEW, why the hell are they even being recognized as that?
Right.
It makes no sense. So it's literally, if you take off the EVP part and they just go back to Matt and Nick Jackson and not Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, it just makes more sense because you're not doing anything with it. Now, how many people watch this? How many people watch AEW Dynamite? I think the last time we actually saw the ratings, it was like what, 500,000, 600,000?
This last week, and we'll get into that in Meltzer in a second, and we'll take a detour into this.
The only reason why I'm mentioning this is that if, let's say they're doing 400,000 fans.
Yeah, this last one was 637,000, and NXT did 702.
Okay, my point is that why is it not close to 1 million? because they put on great wrestling, but yet they're not generating enough or not doing enough to bring in new fans. It's like the people who watch New Japan. They continually do is that they cater to the fans that they have.
Right.
They bring in different names, to bring in to generate more revenue to them. When they brought in Jericho, fans of Jericho went to go flock to go watch Wrestle Kingdom because they wanted to know what he was doing. But what they did is that they went over and started watching, and they were like, "Oh my God, look at this product." Now, you have Moxley there, you have all these big names that are there, but you realize that they're not doing enough to keep the fans there. Yes, they'll come here to watch who they want to watch, and then they're gone.
I think the big issue too is Tony's very 51-49 on how he books these matches. Because I'm sorry, and I'll say this: Chris Jericho at the time when he wrestled Peter Avalon should not be a 15 fucking minute match. A lot of the matches that he puts on should be squash matches, but Tony doesn't believe in the formula of a squash match. Like Queen Aminata and Mercedes Moné did not need to go as long as it did. She should have had some more hope spots in there, and then Mercedes beats her. Like, I'm sorry, and I don't. This is not anything against Queen Aminata, but who the fuck is Queen Aminata? Like, we've seen her on Ring of Honor and Collision and Rampage, and all of a sudden she's pushed into the forefront. Much like when you had Yuka Sakazaki against Mariah May, or Mariah May and Willow Nightingale out of nowhere, because the story is, hey, remember that time where they were in the Owen Hart Classic final? Stop it! I don't remember that goddamn time. Okay, so yes,
the average fan does not remember that shit. The guy, the girl, the whoever, just turning on TV, just saying, "Hey, I want to watch wrestling."
Yeah,
it's just for the average. I mean, if you're basically, he's catering to his sickos. He's catering to the people who will stay there, and because they didn't like Vince's WWE. Those were the exact same people who griped and bitched and complained, much like we did.
Yep.
Who wanted change, who wanted something different. Yes. Did we get something different 5 years ago? Of course we did. We got something when they did all out, and everybody was like, yeah, let's see what they could do next. All of a sudden we got that damn message on their phones on New Year's Eve, and all of a sudden, boom, we're going to get AEW. We got AEW, we got Dynamite, we got this great company that was just up and starting. Everybody was interested because everybody wanted to watch it.
And WWE.
What did Tony Khan do? He took that exact same New Japan formula and tried to put it here and tried to draw everybody in. And everybody was just like, okay, this was enough. This was good. I'm going to go back over there because they've changed people who were in charge.
And the 2019 WWE product was dog shit, number one. And yeah.
Tony, basically, to kind of expand on your point, Paul, Tony Khan essentially tried to make New Japan in America, but with he tried to sprinkle a little bit of WWE in there.
Oh yeah, and to go on to Daniel's point, which I love how you put that in there, Mr. Sprinkle. And I said this
sprinkle me.
Sprinkle me.
So now I'm gonna bring out that E40. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm gonna bring out that E40. I'm gonna sprinkle me.
Sprinkle. Yes, thank you, E40. So I have to put this into the forefront. Like Paul and I have said this, and Danny, you can concur with how he books these 15 match fucking pay-per-views that go to like 12 o'clock in the fucking morning. He literally books these shows like a Wrestle Kingdom. You get 4 matches on the freaking 0 hour that go long, and then he goes into like the ever matches on freaking. He books these shows like Wrestle Kingdom. He books these shows like Wrestle Kingdom.
It's painful. It's painful when you continually get these lengthy ass shows. It's painful because you're paying $50 a pop. I'm not paying it, but I mean you're paying $50 a pop to watch these damn shows on all these pay-per-views, and you're doing it once a month.
Right.
Do you know that gets costly for the average fan?
Oh yeah. $50 a month, absolutely.
And in this economy, who the fuck has that kind of money?
Nobody.
Ain't nobody.
Ain't
nobody got time for that.
Nobody got time for that.
I got bronchitis.
So
ain't nobody got time for that.
So what we got time for to run and tell that, homeboys, is that on the other side of things, before we come back to Uncle Dave and his bullshittery, we mentioned Vince McMahon. So a lawsuit has been filed against WWE, Vince McMahon, and Linda McMahon in regards to the Ring Boy scandal.
TKO.
And TKO involving Belle Phillips. So here we go, as it reads. The DiCello, Levitt, and Murphy, Falcon and Murphy filed a major lawsuit today against World Wrestling Entertainment, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and Linda McMahon, and the TKO Group Holdings, Inc. on behalf of 5 survivors of sexual abuse. The survivor, Johns Doe 1 through 5, were known within WWE as ring boys, underage boys hired by the organization's ringside announcer and ring crew chief Melvin Phillips Jr. to assist with errands and other tasks and preparations for WWE's wrestling shows. The underage ring boys were groomed, exploited, and sexually abused by Phillips, who targeted children from broken homes. His sexual assaults occurred not only at the wrestling venues, but also in hotel rooms and other locations where Phillips would shuttle the boys in plain sight. Defendants were fully aware of the systemic and pervasive abuse and did nothing to prevent or stop it. The FBI previously identified at least 10 ring boys abused by Phillips, but there are likely countless others who have suffered in silence for decades. Thanks to the bravery of our clients, we finally have a chance to hold accountable those who allowed and enabled the open, rampant sexual abuse of these young boys, said Greg Gutzler, a partner at DiCello Levitt, who is leading the litigation. That so many were aware of the sexual abuse of the ring boys and did nothing to prevent or stop it is simply unconscionable. The survivors only recently learned at the depth of knowledge that the McMahons and the WWE had about what happened to them, that sexual abuse and the company started at the top of the McMahons. The filing of Grant versus WWE, the acquisition of the WWE by TKO, and the ouster of Vince McMahon as CEO all have provided new insights and the possibility of coming forward without incurring the retribution and intimidation of the McMahons. This information, along with recent changes in sex abuse laws, has allowed them to pursue justice in this suit. And I will start with Paul on this one. Paul, your thoughts on this lawsuit?
At least if you're coming out at Vince or coming after Vince McMahon, great.
Fine. Yes.
But it's like you're trying to blame the entire WWE that's there now. And I get it. You're gonna try and get money from the people that are there now, but they had nothing to do with it.
Nope.
You know, if you want to start naming names, start naming the names that were there during this time that all this happened.
Vince McMahon
that are still alive.
That are still alive. I mean, Pat Patterson is already dead and gone. I mean, you want to do Gerald Briscoe? Is Briscoe still alive?
Yeah, Briscoe's still alive.
Okay, Gerald so then go after Gerald Briscoe because and you look at all these guys, and you know, you could be like Tony Atlas, and they said they grabbed him in the penis,
grab his pecker.
Grab my pecker.
Hey, grab
my pecker.
He's a booker.
He's a booker. I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, you grab my pecker. I mean, I'm saying is like, if you're doing this to get money or get validation, go after the people who were strictly involved. Vince. You want to go after Vince McMahon? Hey, by all means necessary, go after Vince McMahon. But you're trying to go after something that they no longer own. Exactly. There is not a McMahon in that damn company. So it's like you going after it would be like me going after JCPenney's because I got fired from Target.
Yes. Exactly.
Good analogy. I dig that.
I like that analogy. Okay.
Because it makes no sense.
I'll also raise a point that we all like the wrestling fans, at least those of us that did a little bit of ding. We knew about this. Like we knew the Ring Boy scandal and all that, but the reason I'm kind of leery of this lawsuit, I'm not denying the merits of it. Is there a case against Vince? Absolutely yes. Linda, absolutely yes. She knew. Vince knew. But where I wonder how a judge will view it is the part against TKO. Like you said, name the names, that are still alive, name them. But I wonder legally what responsibility TKO has. Like, I don't know the law, but I wonder about that.
I feel you, and I mean, I'm mostly with you guys on this, just because.
Do you feel him?
I do you feel him, sir? Yes, I do. I look at it from a stance too. When you have Vince being the grimy son of a bitch that he is, you can't go after Pat because he's dead. God rest his soul. But I mean, it all comes down to Vince. TKO has nothing to do with this. Triple H doesn't have anything to do with this. Nobody has anything to do with this. It's all Vince McMahon. Just
somebody better rest his soul.
So with that being said, yes, I concur with you. But yes, this definitely I'm glad this has gone to light because, again, horrible thing that we've heard about in the 90s, the Phil Donahue show, any money, hello. But it just, yeah. And, well, Phil Donahue's a very important figure here because somebody who was legendary for his mullet being on the Phil Donahue show. We're going to go into Uncle Dave. Oh, Uncle Dave, we got 2 things from Uncle Dave this week. Here we go, baby.
Oh, good God.
So Meltzer said what? This is posted by Heel Usi, and I've said this.
That's a grumpy old man.
So I say this all the time. If you guys are not following Meltzer said what, just follow all the stupid things that they post that Dave Meltzer says. There's too much to get into, but these 2 really stuck out in my mind this week. So here we go. So Dave Meltzer. So what the big thing this week was 637 or 630,009,000 for AEW, 702,000 for NXT on the CW. NXT beat them again. But what Dave is focused on is the goddamn demo, which will be the second part to this. So this person wrote, Alistair McKenzie wrote, update to my post, NXT wins again. And Dave wrote 0.16 and 72 million home beats 0.19 and 66 million. Math, not your strong suit. So Dave is very, very much into the fact that AEW beat them in the demo. And Paul, because you gave the laughing emoji when I sent this to you, we'll go with you first on this. Your thoughts on Uncle Dave and the math is not your strong suit, you motherfucker?
You know, he's trying to do that Steiner math for some apparent reason. Because, you know, the mathing just isn't mathing.
It's not mathing. No. But yeah, he's very much focused on the demo.
He's so fucking fickle about bullshit. And then of course when you play the next part, it shows. DC, go for it.
Go for it, Dan.
Exactly.
Some of this shit is literally too stupid to insult.
I know. We do this every week with Uncle Dave.
These are the same people that will look at a voting map and they'll say, well, he got all these votes over here, but how'd the state go this way? It's like the land doesn't vote. People, the concentration. 0.16, 72 million homes is a lot more than the 0.9 and the 66.
Right. It's one of those things too, like you mentioned, as far as that goes, as far as voting, is people have their own narratives of how they try to spin things, especially with what's going on in politics, but we won't get into politics.
Nope.
We're not going to do that. But the point,
we're not going to get into politics.
No, the point
we did that last week.
Oh yes, we did with Donald, with you know who being on the Undertaker's podcast.
No.
Delete. Before we continue,
yes.
Did you listen to it, DC?
Parts of it.
Okay, I got about 5 minutes in before I turned it off. Michael, how far did you get into it?
Like 3-4 minutes. Like I got an hour less than you did. Now I had to turn it off.
Every time, for the last week, I've been getting clips, those freaking reels on my from YouTube on my phone is like things that I'm just like I'm swiping. I was like, I have no interest. I'm sorry. I don't need to see a fucking I don't need to see a car dealer over here trying to woo me into voting for him. No, I'm cool.
Ain't gonna happen.
Ain't gonna happen. I will vote for Mickey Mouse once again.
Exactly.
I will vote for myself.
All right.
I'll vote for Tony
DC has my vote.
DC, you have my vote too. And
I'll vote for Tony Khan.
Oh, I'll vote for you. I'll pay you. Another thing that really came out as far as Dave with what he said, besides this was another one that we mentioned how this really goes with this particular one. Here we go. So we're going to click it. So this is from 2019 in April. And Dave responded to this person. According to this, SmackDown was 4th for the night, not 7th, unless I heard you wrong last night. Dave, ratings are by viewers, not one demo. I made that clear last night. before AEW, after AEW, our ratings by viewers or demo. What happened, Dave?
Again, Dave being Dave, and Dave said what?
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 Dave. Yep, exactly.
Again, Grandpa Dave forgetting the shit that he said.
That he did. So one more. Yeah.
Dave Meltzer is the Abe Simpson of wrestling journalists. You know, the angry man yells at cloud.
Yes.
That's him.
That's him.
That's Dave in a nutshell.
God damn it, Abe Simpson.
And one final thing on Dave Meltzer.
God damn that whippersnapper.
One final thing with Dave Meltzer, and then Dan has a point that he likes to say before. He's got some things to say, as he says many times with me. So, all right, this is from October 13th, and I pulled this up from Meltzer Said What, because this just shows Dave Meltzer saying the most obvious things, and just things that, like, hello, we all know, but Dave apparently is finding this out. Dave has a new idea for AEW. Frankly, we should all feel embarrassed not to have thought of this already. This is why he's still the king of wrestling media. Dave's new idea for AEW to go to smaller 2,500 seat arenas for TV tapings instead of giant NBA arenas. I know, like, we all haven't been saying this. So here's what Dave had to say.
I have my new idea on what they should do, and it's sort of similar to what they did with the Collision thing, but not go to the same market over and over and over again. I mean, if they can get it and they can get like a local whatever it is to like help support them like they did in Arlington, that deal, which was a good deal for them. That's cool. But I think that the idea should be this is my theory is book 2,500 seat buildings in markets. You are going to probably end up with $100,000 gates instead of like 150,000 or 180,000 gates. Now, if you're in like a New York or you're in Chicago, and no, that's too small. But in most of these markets, go for a 2,500 seat building. Obviously, push matches way ahead of time, push the on sale, and go in there with the idea, because if it's because a lot of people wait till late. Now the thing is like, why buy tickets when they come out? That's why you're getting numbers like 1,000 or 1,500 tickets, because you know that the smart people and the AEW fan base is generally a smart fan base. They know to wait till the end, and that's why you're getting a lot of, not in every city, but in a lot of cities, you're getting some really good buys. Once you start doing the 2-for-1s or 30% offs, and WWE's doing that too. WWE's Barclays Center shows 30% off, now. That's just how it is. Like when WWE's selling everything out in advance, they don't have to do it, but that's the new thing. That's what everyone does. And they should just go in there, with like, $40 tickets, basically. So people can, it's not a big $150 for seats and things like that. And go in there and make it to where, you got to buy your tickets ahead, because you're going to sell out, right away. And all of a sudden, in these 2,500 seat buildings, they're sold out the first day, the first week. All of a sudden, the perception is this is a hot product again, rather than these pictures, of 13,000, 14,000 seat buildings with 3,000 people in them, which does nobody.
Thank you, Dave.
Here's the thing: is that again back to mentioning Busted Open.
Yes,
Dave LaGreca. I think it was Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer was the one that said, I think they should go back to smaller arenas to basically do the hard reset. Is like, do exactly what Dave said, 2,500, 3,000 seat arenas, because you need those smaller venues in order to get people in. But on top of doing that, they need to change the exact same thing that everybody has been saying. And it looks like they've been doing with this, with firing of one of their producers, Jimmy Jacobs, right?
Yeah, that's right, Jimmy
okay. Jacobs. Okay, to getting rid of him. And it seems like they've been doing like this little hard reset. But I think going to smaller arenas will generate the exact same atmosphere that they did in Austin, I believe. Yeah, Austin, right?
Yep.
that they were in. So yeah, they can get that, and it sounded great on TV. It sounded great, but that's something that they need to do consistently.
Agreed. It's just
Hammerstein Ballroom,
Manhattan Center.
Manhattan Center. I mean, and you look at, I mean, even like here in LA, I mean, the Armenian Center where GCW goes to, that's another venue that's about 1,500 people that can fit into there easily. But I mean, smaller venues. Where was NXT at a couple of weeks ago?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Oh, I mean, in St. Louis. Where did they go to?
I can't remember the name of the venue, but
it's a smaller venue for NXT. It was perfect because it sounded great on TV. So it's like you go to these smaller venues, you get the pop and circumstance inside of those venues. You're drawing people in, but I mean, on top of that, you have to be able to have some stories developing and not do this start, stop bullshit.
Wardlow says
DC.
What? Wardlow says what? Yes.
I don't know. Wardlow has to be on TV in order to say what.
Powerhouse Hobbs says what?
Again, has to be on TV.
All right. He brought it up. Daniel, go ahead.
Peter Avalon needs to be on TV to say what?
Daniel, go ahead. You said Lucha Bros. Go ahead.
You had arguably one of your OG teams, the Lucha Bros.
Yep.
And you didn't fucking keep them.
That's correct.
So they decide collectively, yeah, you know what? I think we're going elsewhere. Conan ran his mouth that they were going to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And they were. I mean, and is Tony kind of right? I mean, technically, legally, he can do it. But part of Tony's thing was back in the day saying, I'm not going to do what WWE did. I'm not going to be like that. This isn't going to be. The problem is you had a lot of high-profile people from WWE. You know, a lot of high-profile guys from AEW that they couldn't sign. Stephanie Vacker, Julia, the Motor City Machine Guns. He wasn't going to let that happen again. So what did he do? He throws a bitch fit and he extends Rey Fenix's contract by a year. And it's been reported he has no intention to use him at all.
Mm-hmm.
So if this hadn't have happened, then right now, I guarantee you, the Lucha Bros would be your WWE Tag Team Champions right now.
Yep.
Not the Motor City Machine.
And what would happen is that, and I really, really, truly believe this, that the Motor City Machine Guns would be the NXT champions. Tag Team champions.
They would beat Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Yep.
Yeah, and that's who they would have come in and beat. If they were there, that's what would have happened. Because we already see them turning on each other, and we already see that friction between them. So had the Motor City Machine Guns been in NXT, they would have been on this pay-per-view and they would have been beating them.
Yep.
And we wouldn't have got that ambulance match.
Okay, so we'll head into NXT next since it was on tonight. For me, I think you guys can agree it was a very solid show. I think for me, the weakest thing for me was the Kailani Jordan, the gauntlet match where she would lose to Fallon Henley due to interference. But the big story coming out of that, the former Delta, Zarya, has attacked Fallon Henley. And do you like Fallon Henley wins and we get Zarya as her first challenger, heel for her to face for the NXT Women's North American Championship? What do you guys think of that match?
Go for it, DC.
Again, I would agree. Weakest match. I think it went on, a little bit long. We all knew that she wasn't winning it. She wasn't keeping the gold. Which I still don't understand why the main roster doesn't have women's mid-card titles yet. Like, why?
Paul said the same thing.
NXT's had one since, when did this come out? Right around Mania, right?
Yes.
Why? Like, are you waiting for the replica belts to get done first?
Oh.
Is that it?
That's why I thought this whole announcement from Triple H, I was like, yes, look, this is what he's going to do. And it was like,
Like, don't get me wrong, I love the shape of the plates, but it's a fucking spinner. I'm surprised this thing doesn't fucking spin. But I digress. Zarya, I dig the look. You know, so are you just gonna randomly toss the title at her? Like,
I mean, she did overlook the I'm gonna say this right now. What a fucking tag match. Julia and Stephanie Vaquer against Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. Holy shit. Right team went over.
That I have to admit was a really good match.
That was really good. And Zarya was so over that. So I mean, we shall see, but she firmly attacked Fallon Henley and the Fatal Influence. So I mean, I'm curious to see where that goes. Can I just say something? Stephanie Vaquer pins Roxanne Perez. That was like a version of the spiral tap, bringing AJ Styles 2002, the corkscrew splash. Now we're going to get Roxanne and Stephanie Vaquer. I'm for that. Sign me up, please. That was really good. They both had a great showing. It also continues Julia versus Cora Jade in her first feud. The only thing, like I mentioned, besides the gauntlet match, dude, the ambulance match with Ridge Holland and Andre Chase, it was okay. It was there. It heightens to what we're going to touch upon in the main event, but
it was what it was.
Yeah, that's how I felt. What did you think, Paul? Kind of what Ridge?
I think, like I just said, it should have been something that probably should have been on NXT TV
easily.
That should have been, if they were going to do a Halloween Havoc special or after special, that should have been the match right after. I mean, we already know we're going to get Wendy Chu versus Tatum Paxley in a freaking casket match. Again, back an ambulance match would have been perfectly fine on TV.
I mean, we're going
to that match would have been perfectly fine on TV.
Oh, agreed. I mean, for the
you could have given them the same amount of time that they took here and did it on TV.
Oh, agreed. I mean, we're going to get what's his face, Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander against Fraxium this Tuesday, which should be amazing to see.
And they're probably going to get the straps.
Yeah, I mean, all right. That'd be cool to see Unk and Unk Cedric and Javon Evans get the tag titles. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and I think that would that dynamic, for some apparent reason, it works for me.
It does, because Cedric is a veteran. I mean, former cruiserweight champion. You got the young upstart Javon Evans, and
former tag champion as well.
Yes, it's
here's the thing. Is it just me, or does Seti look like he just put on some weight and bulked up?
Yeah.
And Seti doesn't look like a cruiserweight no more. Seti looked like he about the same weight as freaking one damn it, I can't think of his damn name right now. AJ Styles.
I can see that.
He's about the same. He's about the same weight as AJ Styles.
Which I feel bad for AJ, for gone for a year now.
Oh my god, that foot, man! He said he took off his boot.
I think like a year.
He said he took off his boot and he didn't know that his bone was sticking out of his foot.
Oh man!
Ooh.
Yeah, poor AJ Styles. Speedy recovery, AJ. We want to see.
People were saying that was supposed to. I know people were saying, "Oh, it's a work. He's fine."
Oh, he hurt himself really bad.
He said, as the kids, I'm cooked, as the kids
say. I'm cooked. AJ Styles in 2020.
As the kids say.
As the kids say, I'm cooked.
But you know what? Back to the Ridge Holland thing. Like, I just don't see it with him.
I think he needs a manager. I'm sorry. He needs somebody to talk for him. He needs that. He's as big as Brock Lesnar, but yet he has nobody to talk for him. And that's what he needs. He needs look, bring Samantha Irvin back and let her fucking manage him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. He can't talk worth a damn. It's just like Ridge Holland.
Neither could Brock, and look what happened.
And I get it. We got NXT, and I get it. NXT is the development, much like OVW used to be their development. I get that. But if these guys are not developing the way you want them to, they're just big guys who are just there, but they need somebody there to do that for them, to lift them up, to push them to be that, that onto that next level.
I mean, you have Ridge Holland, who his presentation in NXT UK was he just came out, really didn't talk, just beat everybody up. That's what
they should go back to.
Exactly. It works.
Be the man of very few words.
Like the whole story of him in NXT UK, for those who haven't seen his presentation in NXT UK, He was the rugby player who got kicked out of rugby, and he's very aggressive, and then he just came in and beat the crap out of people. That was it.
Honestly, who would work for him? Tully Blanchard.
Huh?
Ooh,
old school. Yep. Bring in some Tully.
I can see that work.
I will say Ridge has an old school look. He kind of has like an Ole Anderson look, like kind of like the burly, big guy look. Tully could work.
I was gonna say Damian Sandow, but hey, if you want to go if you want to go Ole Anderson, then we'll go Ole Anderson.
Hey, right. I want Macho Mandow back.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now
he is no Dusty Rhodes. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
That thick body, that thick body.
That
thick body, baby.
So Ridge Holland also was an integral part in the main event, with Trick Williams retaining against Ethan Page, the beatdown afterwards. And then Paul Morales, like a schoolgirl, was fanboying out because we talk about him all the time. Dave LaGreca and Bully Ray were on there busted open in Pennsylvania, Hershey, PA. Bully Ray was like, fuck you, Ridge. That was twice. 3 times the charm, motherfucker. And he came out and laid out Ethan Page and Ridge Holland. And it looks like at the 2300 arena, we're going to get Ethan Page and Ridge Holland against Trick Williams and Bully Ray. We already announced for the 2300 arena, we're going to get Lola Vice versus Jada Parker with Dawn Marie, who we have not seen in WWE for 20 plus years.
I thought she didn't like them.
Well, I mean, Vince is not there anymore, so that's a plus. So
maybe we can get Tommy Dreamer as the fucking special guest referee. That would be perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, can we get Tommy Dreamer? Yes.
How about RVD?
I'll take them both.
I'm a hardcore. Thank you, Tommy Dreamer. Yes.
Yeah, and make it a hardcore tag team match.
Oh my goodness! But I'm excited. I like the main event.
Bring in Raven.
Ooh, nevermore.
I like the main event. I think they both works very well together as always. And I got to say, right guy went over, but do you like Ridge being the next challenger for Trick Williams?
No. Absolutely not.
I'm not for it. I'm not feeling it. And I hate to say that. I really do, but I'm not really feeling Ridge Holland going for the title next.
Honestly, who I would rather see, Obafemi.
Ooh, all right. Since Daniel brought it up, that opener with friggin' Tony D and Obafemi, the spear through the ladder, the table spots, the crowbar spots, that code breaker that Luke Crucifino and Stax did with the chair was epic. That whole entire match was phenomenal.
Top to bottom, it seemed like I love the spots. Don't get me wrong. I know I'm not really a spot kind of person, but I love the spots because it still continued their story. It still continued on with what they've been doing this whole time. Beating the crap out of each other is what they've been doing. As long as they continue to keep beating the crap out of each other and they're doing what they're doing, hey, continue it on. But if not, then on to the next.
Yeah. What did you think of the match, Dan? Because it was very hardcore for Pennsylvania.
I loved it. Like I'm a big Tony D fan. Love the family. Love the family. And I think
about it.
It would have been way too soon to take it off of him already.
Yeah, because you're not gonna do it right after he got it.
And you have that emotional win. No.
Yeah.
I think I would rather see Obafemi going after Trick. I think that honestly makes more sense to me as a fan. I would rather see that. Honestly, Oba's a star.
For someone so young, who's like 23 and he's only been in the business for like a year, is nuts.
He's going to be a huge player. I guarantee you he's going to main event Mania at some point.
And I agree with you too. I mean, much like I said about Ridge Holland, Ridge Holland has the body, has that physique, but if you look at Obafemi, who has that physique, but he has that charismatic aura about him to where people are just like,
you want to listen to him.
You want to listen to what he says. Accent and all. Nigerian accent, Dave and all.
And Jim.
Or I mean, not Dave. It's fucking
Jim Cornette and his
Jim Cornette. Yeah, Jim Cornette. Fucking idiot.
Fucking racist.
Fucking racist piece of shit. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Look, he just has that it factor, and he needs to be in that NXT championship category. He needs to be in that he needs to be up there.
Yeah. And honestly, I'll say it. I think you're gonna see Obafemi in the Royal Rumble next year.
Oh, for real. Like
I'm down for it. I'm down for it.
He's gonna be that one that it's gonna take like 7 or 8 guys to throw him over.
And I think he'll win it at Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, I could see him winning the title. And then right after that, move Trick up to the main.
Exactly. Well, no, I don't know. I'm still on him. To me, he still needs to improve those promos. He just doesn't. To me, it just seems like he doesn't have that killer instinct in him.
He's got the swag in his promos, but he doesn't
that much. Yes, but I just don't think he has that killer instinct.
Ethan Page could go to the main roster.
Ethan Page could go to the main roster right now. Him and LA Knight will give me that.
Yeah.
I am here for that. I gotta say, guys, for the weekend in professional wrestling, we mentioned NXT, and you mentioned people winning titles.
And
the Hardy Boys.
To kind of put just a point I want to make, Ava has gotten a lot better.
Did you see? Like she's even said, like I don't even want to go back in the ring anymore. I'm fine doing this, which she's good. She's good as an
her confidence is growing. Like,
but I don't. I think that too. I think it was for her. It was more not being able to be a figure like out in the ring with her promos. I think that was the worst part of her, on top of not having as many skills as you would like, your wrestlers to have. And she's not as seasoned as a lot of the women that are out there now. Yeah, a lot of them have that athletic paralysis in them. They come from that background. But then there are those women that are just pure wrestlers. And Ava never had that.
Yeah. People look at her and they expect her to be her father.
Yeah,
it's not fair. Like, it's not fair with any second generation or third generation talents. It's not fair. They're not their parent or uncle or whatever. She's not gonna be her dad. It's not possible.
Yeah, because we look at Randy Orton. Randy Orton is third generation. I mean, look at Cowboy Bob Orton didn't do a lot.
He was a good mid Carter.
He was a great mid Carter. He was a great showpiece for Roddy Piper. He was a great showpiece. He was his hype man, is basically what he was. But yet he wasn't that great wrestler. So second generation, it may skip to the third, And Ava is doing a really, really great job. She's improved so much. Yes, I agree with you. I love what she's doing.
Yeah. She's getting a lot better. And, honestly, I could see maybe at some point, maybe they put her on Raw or SmackDown. And seeing her get experience on Raw and SmackDown and those backstage vignettes, it's working. Like, it's night and day with her over a year ago.
Oh, my God. Like, when they put her in the schism, I'm like, okay. And then she wrestled, and I'm like, oh, boy. And then once they made her the assistant to Shawn, and then they made her the GM. I mean, the GM at the start, I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. And then, like Dan mentioned, like she's gotten so confident. You see the exuberance, you see the fun that she's having, and it's great to see, man. And I think we've finally found a great role, not only for Ava, but just a great role that really encompasses the overall brand that is NXT. And speaking of brands, and we mentioned title changes earlier on in the show, TNA had a pay-per-view the night before, Bound for Glory. Great matches such as Speedball Mike Bailey and Vikingo. Holy hell, that was something. And I mean, I feel bad for poor Vikingo because he did get hurt. And he was rushed to the hospital afterwards. Guys, I got to say, Bound for Glory. So for what happened was he suffered a legit leg injury during the taping. And then he landed awkwardly in a match against Trent Seven, and then they had to rush him to the hospital. So speedy recovery to Vikingo.
If we're gonna talk about this whole pay-per-view, we're just gonna talk. We could talk about the great matches, and then we could talk about the worst fucking ending to a damn pay-per-view.
All right, okay.
I have to go there because I'm sorry. As much as I fucking love Nick Nemeth, and I think he's fucking awesome, and I think he's great. That was the worst fucking call by TNA.
All right.
The worst fucking call, because you have such an awesome fucking guy, face of fucking TNA. Forget Josh Alexander, forget Moose, forget everybody else. Joe Hendry, I said his name.
And he appears.
Picture here. No, but the fact that he got robbed of a fucking title of, I'm sorry, if Bound for Glory is their WrestleMania, why did they not fucking put it on him?
Because they think that he's WWE bound.
And honestly,
but why not just put it on him? Even if he's WWE bound.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
I think his contract with TNA is up in end of December.
Yeah, January.
Much
like Jordan Grace's, which is why she lost to Masha Slamovich. Which,
so I think they are expecting both of them to leave. Which, if you notice, this is kind of why they've cooled on the whole NXT thing.
No, because they've still continually had NXT women there.
Well, I mean, it's not as prevalent on NXT, at least. You know, it's not as
and that being true, because I would have liked to have had seen more. I still like their relationship. Don't get me wrong. I still like their relationship, and I still like the fact that they're still sending people back and forth. You know, and I would like to see still more wrestlers. I would love to see Moose in NXT. I would love to see Josh Alexander in NXT. I would love to see him against Ethan Page. I would love to see him against Circuit Trick Williams. I would love for NXT and TNA to have one of those
when worlds collide
pay-per-views where we get to see their brand versus WWE's brand, and it would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You could even bring guys in from fucking from Noah.
Yeah, now Michi Marufuji, you can bring all those guys in, yeah.
Yeah. That would work for me.
So for me, to add on to the point, like, I like the fact that Masha won. I thought it was her time. Her and Jordan Grace had a great match. Speedball Mike Bailey and Vikingo, like we mentioned. Rosemary turning on Wendy Chu after Danny Luna and, excuse me, who was the other one? Who the hell's her? Oh, what's her face? Jody Threat retained the
Jody Threat, yeah.
That was interesting. I will speak on Ziggler and Joe Coffey myself, Nick Nemeth. The match was really good. Frankie Kazarian teasing he was going to win because he won the Call Your Shot gauntlet match. Damn JBL. That bounty hunter, son of a bitch, JBL comes out, takes out Ryan Nemeth, clotheslines from hell to Joe Hendry, and Joe Hendry does not win. For me, wrong call as well, much like you two have stated. I mean, again, I like Nick Nemeth too. I think he's getting a great push, but this was the time. Here's what I'll equate it to. You mentioned Bound for Glory, right? Like, this is their WrestleMania. I will take you all back to 2011. Kurt Angle versus Bobby Roode for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. When Hogan said, nah, Kurt Angle's winning. Bobby Roode should have won the doggone title. That build that they gave talking to his family, that's when Bobby Roode should have won the title. This is where Joe Hendry should have won the TNA title.
And then literally a couple days later, he drops it to James Storm.
Yeah, then James Storm beats Kurt Angle, and then Bobby Roode beats James Storm and turns heel. Yep.
Again, back to Bob Backlund, Iron Sheik, Hulk Hogan.
Yep. The flip-flop.
Make that make sense.
Oh, agreed. And I mean, I look at it from this stance too as well. Like, the main event, the Hardy Boys defeating the System and ABC in the Full Metal Mayhem for the tag titles. That was very interesting to see the reimagination and the Full Metal Mayhem match. The Hardys winning the tag titles. Did you guys like that? Delete. Absolutely delete. What y'all think?
Yeah, I think what this does is it allows them to, because I can already see it now. I mean, they weren't able to win the AEW tag titles, which I think at one point that was supposed to happen. There was talk that they were doing it.
Yeah, in the ladder match, they were supposed to win the ladder match before Jeff got in trouble.
Which time? I'm being serious. Which time?
It was the second time that they were supposed to win them.
Yeah,
okay.
Because they were already in contention for, and I believe they already had a number one contender.
Yeah, they beat the Bucks.
Yeah, they had beat the Bucks, and they were supposed to, and then Jeff, I believe, the following weekend had gotten busted.
The speeding, yeah, that infamous cop,
and he was drunk. He was drunk driving, wasn't he?
drunk
I think
driving.
so, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why they cut that.
I can already see it now. I think I can really see them going and getting a run in NXT.
As they should.
You know, getting that final tag team title reign. You know, they've been WWE tag champs, world tag team champions. They've never been NXT. Then they both have mentioned they kind of like to do it.
I'm fine with them against Fraxium, them against Nathan Fraser and Axiom, them against the OC and NXT, them against whoever it may be, Hank and Tank. They can work with a lot of the young guys.
Exactly. I mean, it eventually when Punk does take over NXT and Sean goes up to the main roster with Trips.
Yep.
I just foresee everything kind of continuing as it is, but I would love to see the Hardys come back in and do something in NXT, especially with the helping develop new talent. And if they're going to continue with what they're doing by pushing new people in, and because right now that women's division is stacked.
Mm-hmm.
They need more men in that division, but God, are they needing to create more stars?
Start signing some guys, Sean.
Start sharing some guys. Yep. Now, speaking of the just overall stackness of the roster, before we get into Crown Jewel, last thing I'll say about Bound for Glory, besides the great weekend of wrestling that we got, folks, go out of your way and watch the Hall of Fame inductions and the speeches by both Eric Young and Tommy Dreamer for the late, great Bob Ryder and for Rhino going into the Hall of Fame, because, God damn it, emotions were running wild for both of their speeches. That was so well done. And rightfully so. Those two should go in.
You know, I'll say as far as Rhino is somebody that I don't think he ever got the credit he really deserves.
No,
not even for being ECW champion. I don't think he gets the credit for that. And I don't even think he gets the credit for being TNA champion for what he did there, but for him having a school, for him putting over people, for him being, forget that he's an ECW original. Yeah, he did great things in ECW, but if you look at post ECW, he did an awesome job. Him and Heath Slater as a tag team.
Great team.
Great
vignettes were hilarious.
And it's like you see Rhino for how he was, and you see the talking piece that was Heath Slater. It just made for good TV, and it made for just them being a great talented team. They really worked well with anybody. And he went over to TNA, and TNA he just seemed to like continue that ball rolling, and he had so many great matches there too. So, congratulations to Rhino for being inducted, and I don't think he's hanging him up anytime soon, but good thing
he looks incredible.
He's 49. He looks good. He's in good shape. He's doing his thing. He's a big boy. And Bound for Glory, Rhino's synonymous with when he won the World's Heavyweight Championship by beating Jeff Jarrett. For me, even when he was in the Monsters Ball match with him, Jeff Hardy, Raven, and Abyss, one of my absolute favorite Monsters Ball matches ever. So, when you think of TNA, one of the OGs, you think of the GOATs like Rhino. We mentioned him last week, Paul. Raven and Rhino from Unbreakable 2005. Well, it's also featured Styles, Daniels, and Joe. So, much love and congrats to Rhino, as well as the late, great Bob Ryder. So, speaking of this, we'll close it on because next week we have Crown Jewel, this coming week, excuse me. And there's 6 matches, and as you can see here, we'll give our thoughts and opinions on our winners. We'll start first with the 4-way for the Women's Tag Team Championship, as it is the champions Bianca and Jade defending against Chelsea and Piper, against Io and Kyrie, and from NXT, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Who y'all going with?
I think you need to put them on Piper and freaking Chelsea. The reason being is that Chelsea is so fucking awesome. She is just one of those people that needs something around her waist to just continually being that smart ass girl that she is, and just phenomenal character that she has developed since she came back to WWE.
Mm-hmm. I'm right there with you. I think for me, if you want to do a shock, I would put it on Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson just because they make me laugh as well.
Even if it's just a brief run.
Same.
Yeah.
But for me, how entertaining they are, I like Bianca and Jade. I think Io and Kyrie are still great in the chase. I'd love to see them win. Really, any of these women. But yeah, I my heart says I would like to see me some Chelsea Green and Miss P.
Chelsea Green.
I'm gonna miss that.
I'm gonna miss that too. I'm gonna miss it. Dan, who you going with in this fatal 4-way for the women's tag?
You know, as much as I want to see, and you know, with Chelsea, it's like people used to give her shit and they say, "Oh, you're Zack Ryder's wife." Now people look at Matt Cardona and just say, "You're Chelsea Green's husband."
Mm-hmm.
And that's how good she is.
Oh, exact night and day. Like, hear me out.
Hit me.
Give her the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble.
That would be fun.
Ooh,
I like that.
You know what? I could see that. I would love that, because if you're not going to give her money if you didn't give her Money in the Bank this year, then you have to give her that Royal Rumble, and you have to give her that. I would love to see her and fucking Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. I'm sorry, but I would love to fucking see that.
We got a little.
I would genuinely love to see her and Tiffany at WrestleMania.
We got it in Money in the Bank. So why not?
I think realistically, I think Tiffany Stratton's going to be the face, because I think they're booking her to the moon. Like, she's the next Trish. Let me say it now.
So I will move on.
My prediction in this match, while any of them could win it, I think you need to keep it on Bianca and Jade for a little bit, because they just got them back not long ago. And then you take it off, then what? Then what do you do with them? Like, Jade is not ready to be on her own yet.
No, I think you need more seasoning, baby, with Jade Cargill.
Maybe what you do, and it's been a long time since she's done it, you have Bianca and Jade cheat to win.
Ooh. All right. Well, you got me.
We know what Bianca can do as a heel.
The NXT run, ladies and gentlemen.
NXT run was incredible. Let's see that again. Let's see what she can do.
Yeah.
We know what Jade can do as a heel.
Oh, yes. Very much so. And then Tony dropped the ball.
Cut the shit.
Tony cut the shit. And then the other Tony dropped the ball. Yeah. Way to go. Way to go, Tony.
I won't pay you.
I won't pay you. Why won't you stay with me? More matches. Yeah. But Tony, I want to go be a star. Whatever.
For the sickos.
So we get to the next match on our card here. Triple threat match.
I'm going home.
You're welcome.
You are home.
You're home.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry. My bad.
Triple threat match for the United States Championship. LA Knight.
Yeah.
Defense against Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. I think LA Knight, but for me, just because he's so doggone good and he is him, I would like to see Carmelo Hayes win the title just because I think it would be sweet. Paul Morales, are you going Carmelo, LA Knight, or Andrade?
I think LA Knight retains.
Okay, fair enough. Dan, are you going LA Knight, Carmelo, or Andrade?
You know, as much as I'm a huge Carmelo fan, like, I just see dollar signs with him. Like, as he says, Melo
is money.
He is a star. Like, he's on my list of, future world champions guaranteed. I think somehow LA Knight takes it with that god ugly strap that they put on the fucking US title. Rhinestones on a goddamn title belt. What did you use to get to make it? Did you use Jericho's old jacket? Did you dig that out of storage, cut it up?
He must have used the fucking bedazzler.
It's ugly. I fucking hate. Don't fuck with something that works.
Don't fuck with something that works.
Damn it. So
Damn it.
So you go with LA Knight as well with Paul?
Yeah.
I think we'll be 3 on LA Knight, even though I could see I would kind of want Carmelo. So we'll move on. Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed. This is how you make a star. Bronson Reed has been a killer with Braun Strowman and everything that they're doing, taking out Seth Rollins and Tsunamis. This man, if we're going to continue this feud, just because I know Seth is back, but God damn it, I want to see some tsunami after tsunami after tsunami. I'm going to go with that big boy, big Bronson Reed, that thickness, thick boy. I'm going Bronson Reed. I'll switch it up. Dan, Seth or Bronson Reed?
Here's how, and it's a finish we haven't gotten for a long time.
Okay.
I think Seth steals it, somehow pulls it out.
Okay.
Bronson snaps, goes after him. And what have we had not seen in a while? The referee switches it up. Seth gets it by DQ. And, you really want to do something, have him attack Adam Pearce. Like, have Adam Pearce come out and try and just say, what are you doing? What are you doing? Have him take out Adam Pearce.
Ooh, okay. All right. Switching it up. I like that. So
like I said, we haven't seen that finish in a long time.
The reverse DQ kind of vibe there. Okay. All right, Daniel. I like your style, sir. Paul Morales, you going that boy Seth or that boy Big Bronson Reed?
I think Seth is gonna take it, but I'm kind of leaning towards the aftermath of what's gonna happen. Seth is gonna win, and Bronson is probably gonna whoop his ass afterwards.
My goodness gracious!
He's gonna hurt him. He gonna
hurt him. And I think the tsunamis are coming, and it wipe out Riyadh.
All right, y'all. Y'all are tempting me here. You're tempting me. You're not tempting me to touch like Rupi, but you're tempting me here. I am gonna go with Seth Rollins. I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go with y'all on this one. I'm gonna switch it up. Okay. Next match: Randy Orton and Kevin Owens.
KO.
Yeah, KO. Paul.
And I think KO, what he does is that he does something to. He cheats to win, but I think he beats him.
I gotta say this: I did enjoy the Gorilla Cam this week with Randy Orton pulling Triple H to come out, and he was just like, "God damn it!"
That was funny. I have to admit that was a good zinger on him.
That was so good.
That was a good one.
And he's trying to protect Randy from KO. I'm for this, man. Kevin Owens being the heel again, being that prize fighter, fight Owens fight, taking out Randall K. I think we're all in agreement that it's KO because it doesn't make sense if Randall K wins.
Do you remember? Think of the match when Kevin Owens won the NXT title off of Sami Zayn.
Oh,
did
the
he
power
pin him?
bomb.
No. He won it by referee stoppage.
Yep, all the power bombs.
And I think if you remember back to SmackDown, what was it Triple H said? I am not protecting Kevin Owens from you. I am protecting you from him.
Yep.
So I think what you need to do, if you're going to continue this, which I think they're going to, you have Kevin Owens just beating him down and beating him down. The referee tries to stop it. Kevin Owens doesn't let him. Triple H comes out and just tells the referee, just says, ring it. And Triple H stops the bell, stops the match in favor of Kevin Owens.
Okay.
I can see it.
I can see that. I like the old NXT.
If you are trying to build up Kevin Owens, this is how you do it. You got to make him dangerous again. Cut the joke bullshit out. Saying, oh, I really want to be there. No. Don't talk. Be that asshole, that bastard that, beats people up. Be the Kevin Owens that he was in NXT.
So go back to the callback of 9 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
All righty.
You re-signed him. You might as well do something with him. I mean, and again, back to a side that doesn't have enough heels, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
I concur.
And here's another thought. Give Kevin Owens the Royal Rumble.
Okay. There's a lot of possibilities. This is what I love about Triple H's booking, because you just don't know. And what we do know here is, all right, I'll go with Paul here because this is our girl. and Amir's girl as well, because he would drink her bathwater. Nia Jax against Liv Morgan. Shout out to Amir.
I'll pay you.
I'll pay you.
He would. He would.
He would. Nia Jax and Liv Morgan to crown the crown jewel champion for the women. I gotta go Liv here because some kerfluffle's gonna happen. Will Tiffany cash in here? I hope not. But we'll see. Liv Morgan, Paul, go, our girl Nia and Liv Morgan.
I'm gonna take Nia.
Come on, man. Is it just because
No, but the thing is that I somehow think Judgment Day is gonna get involved.
Okay.
And I think the one person that's gonna get involved is Raquel.
And
because remember, Nia and Raquel have a history.
That is true. Yeah.
Because if Nia fucking took out Raquel. So if I'm going to be a betting man here, I am probably going to say Liv Morgan, but I still want Nia to win.
Fair
you already
enough.
know why.
I know. Grab them cakes. I get you. It's a beautiful, beautiful woman. I like cake too. We all do.
Go to town.
Yes, sir. Daniel Crimmins, Liv Morgan, and Nia Jax.
Again, like Paul, this run that Nia's been on has actually been really, really good.
It's been amazing.
She's gotten a lot better. I think. Do I want her to win? Yeah, I do. But here's the way I think it's going to go. Judgment Day is going to get involved. Tiffy's going to, try and help. And, Nia's going to end up she's going to end up costing Nia the briefcase, or not the briefcase, the match.
Mm-hmm.
Liv's going to, squeak a win. Because what do heels do? They cheat. They win. So I think I'm going with Liv.
Okay. All right. Well, do you guys think the cash-in happens here? No, I would save it for Survivor Series.
Yeah, it's going to be Survivor Series, I think.
Yeah, I'm probably, I am so, that would be a Vince move to do it here.
Oh, yeah. That would be a Vince move. I don't see Triple H.
Have we ever had a cash-in in Saudi?
No, and I'm so glad we never have.
I am too.
I think, wait. Yeah, we did.
Did we?
We're going to have to research that and come back to that after when we talk about this next week.
I really don't think we did.
I don't think we did. No.
You know what? Look, just continue to doing what you're doing. And
he's going to look it up. So, final match.
Actually, I don't know if you want to, bring it up, but if you want to address it, because it's going to be confirmed on next week. That match that might be getting added.
Oh, so yeah, Roman and the Usos against the Bloodline. I gotta go Roman and the Usos.
Yeah, I think that's the right call.
Just because if you're gonna get to War Games and also they came back together, you can't have them lose.
No, you
can't have them lose like that. And I think, well, who is it? Is it Solo and the God or Solo?
They haven't said.
Okay, so if it's Solo and the God, Tongalova's taking the pin. If it's Solo, Tama, and Fatu, I got to say Tama's still taking the pin. So I got to go Roman and the Usos.
The hardest thing is that for me, I'm trying to understand. I understand the concept of wanting to make Solo into a star,
right?
Because that was like the push that Vince used to do with Roman.
Yep,
it's like pushing him and pushing him and pushing him. When everybody knew. Yes, he was a face. Yes, he was doing what he was doing, but he wasn't the guy in the damn group.
No, like with the Bloodline now, Jacob Fatu is that guy.
And it's Jacob. That's the one that should have. And what I would like to see is I would like to see Jacob all of a sudden turn on Solo.
I think that would be sweet to see.
I think what you do, and because what was Solo's big thing when he took over? What did he say to Jay or to Jim? He said, losses matter.
Mm-hmm.
So who in the Roman and Cody versus Jacob and Solo match, who ate that pin?
Solo.
So I think what you do, you have Solo take the pin. And then you have Jacob and the Tongans kind of look at each other as if to say, like, And then eventually, you know, because we know, look, we know eventually it's going to end up that The Rock is the one that's really pulling the strings.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be, you know, the man behind the curtain, as he had to pull that Wizard of Oz reference.
Yes.
He's going to be the Kaiser Soze here. He's going to be the guy. So maybe eventually they, you know, cast Solo out. And what's strange is we've seen Solo's NXT work. Where's that Solo?
We saw him North American champion solo, just solo against Von Wagner and solo against so many people like a Carmelo.
Whatever happened to Von Wagner anyway?
He got fired.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
You missed that. Hey, it's okay. Everybody else missed it too.
Everybody else.
Obviously.
when did that happen?
Like a year ago. If this was Tony Khan's AEW, it'd be like, oh, you don't remember when Von Wagner got fired? No. Well, he did.
Like the like that Brock Lesnar wannabe lookalike that they signed.
Oh, Parker Burjo. Yeah, oh man, Harlan, yeah. And then when that dude came out and said he was doing seminars, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You fucking kidding me right now? God damn you, Parker Burjo.
I'll pay you.
I'll pay you. That friggin' thing with him and Swerve and that other guy who sucked. Oh God, please. And the best thing about that was fucking Rick Ross. That was the best thing.
You mean the that Tom McDonald lookalike?
Yes, that guy. God, it just starting fuckery. So going to the main event. Cody Rhodes, Gunther, also for the Crown Jewel Championship. Gotta go with that boy Gunther. Just because Cody's gonna get screwed. KO, what have you. I gotta go with that boy Gunther. It only makes sense. And DC, Daniel, Gunther, or Cody?
See, I'm torn here. You know, I am a Gunther guy.
Yes, you are.
But I can't help but think Cody's getting it.
Okay.
You know, and it's another one. I did hear an interesting rumor. It goes back to the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. I heard a rumor that there may be a return coming.
All right.
A Miss Rebecca Lynch.
Whew. Okay. I like that. All right.
She's got beef with both.
This is true.
So maybe, but I think, like I said, going back to Cody and Gunther, much as I would love to see Gunther just mollywop Cody, just hit him with power bomb after power bomb after power bomb. Just like after banger after banger.
After banger.
I think, you know, we get a Gunther win.
Okay. Paul, you're the deciding factor, Gunther or Cody?
I think in order to make Gunther a household name, in order to make him be that guy, I think Gunther needs to beat him. I think Gunther needs to have this victory. But what I also think happens,
I'm gonna go there. I think you might be going where I'm going. Go ahead.
Is that the new bloodline actually interferes.
Okay. All right. I can see that. Now I'm gonna go with the other interference because everybody's been talking about it since what happened at the last show. I'm gonna say it at Bad Blood. Y'all, you Gunther and Goldberg. We gonna get that for Survivor Series. Gunther, Goldberg,
Please
one
no.
more match. Yeah.
Please don't. This isn't not Vince McMahon.
I'm just
Please
saying.
stop thinking about Vince McMahon. Please,
Mike,
stop
I
thinking.
will reach you the screen.
I'm just saying.
That's it. I'm out of here.
I'm just saying. I know that. First of all,
swear to God,
if Goldberg comes out and spears him to end the freaking show, oh my God.
It would be different if it was after the match.
Yes,
I would be perfectly fine with it after the match.
I'd be fine with that.
Don't do it during the damn match, please.
No.
For Christ's sakes, do not do it during the damn match.
Mike. If you really just spoke this into existence, I will get in my car. I will drive down to South Carolina nonstop
And whoop your ass.
See, I'm in.
And whoop that trick.
Probably take about what, 10, 12 hours?
Yes.
But I'll be there. I'll have to stop a couple times, get gas and food, but
I'll be like Jackson 5. I'll look over my shoulders, honey. Because
no one successfully cashed in, although Damian Priest did try last year and Sami Zayn stopped him.
That's true. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, I don't want to speak that. Distance cut.
Or
hit me.
What if The Rock comes out
and cost Cody? Yeah. Okay. There's so many possibilities.
Because we know Rocky likes to steal the spotlight.
This is true. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. I'm really, really looking forward to this now. But yeah, I gotta go Gunther too. Let's see who interferes. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is
Am I the only one picking Cody here?
I think you are. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want him to win, but I think they're gonna do it.
You're on the lonely island on this, Mr. Daniel Crimmins. Yeah.
I'm on the island of relevancy.
Touche, my friend.
See what I did there?
Both the ones. Yes, sir.
We acknowledge our tribal chief.
We do. And we acknowledge each and every one of you for tuning into the show each and every week. So that is going to do it for the weekly review. Before we close this out, we do have a guest, Mr. Daniel Crimmins. Promote the socials. Where can we follow you? I know it's going to be a lot of the same, but go ahead, Mr. Daniel Crimmins. Hit me.
I'm somewhere on Instagram. I honestly don't know. I don't.
Go follow D. Crimmins 1 on Instagram for Dan and his cats.
Go follow me.
Go follow me.
Check Mike and I out on Uncaged. We have a show coming up, recording at some point next week or so. Hopefully, I think maybe.
Yeah, well, we got one more. We got one more show to close out season 4 before we get into season.
Check
5.
out the last episode that we did where we had the dead man of RWT.
Yep.
We talked about the life and times of the great Scott Hall.
Hey yo,
Chico. So that will be in the description. And Paul Morales, where can we follow you and the Dead Man of RWT?
Dead Man of RWT, YouTube, X, TikTok, all on the same spot, same name. You could also find me on the RWT Facebook page, where you could also find that guy, Mr. Daniel Crimmins. You can find that guy all the way on the other side, Mr. Michael Larkin. You could also find me on Max, him on Max, that guy on Max. We can find all of us on Max Wrestling too. And of course, Mr. Michael Larkin, floor is yours. I have to keep remembering this.
Wherever you are.
Wherever you are.
You're over there.
I'm over here. SM Show 1, MCL92 on Twitter, Larkin_92, M Larkin MB on Instagram, StephenMikeShow.com, LFCfights.com. Check out the YouTube, Mike Larkin92. Thank you all for over 1,000 subscribers, and we're going to keep on keeping on to the break of dawn. Stephen Mike Show, Uncaged with Daniel Crimmins, weekly review of Paul Morales, Deep to the Heart of Wrestling with Robert Davis and Nicola MacDonald. You can check out Pop Culture History Podcast. You can check out Shooting the Breeze. You can check out so many things in the LFC Podcast on the channel. We appreciate you. We love you. And we will see you.
And he's on Pornhub, I think.
I'll check him out. Wow.
I heard that's coming next.
I think.
Okay. All right.
So you can check us out each and every week. You can check out Dan. You can check out Paul. You can check out all of us on the YouTube channel. We appreciate the love. We'll see you next time for another weekly review for our special guest, Daniel Crimmins. Thank you for coming on, Dan. For Paul Morales, my name is Mike Larkin, and I'll pay you.
I'll pay you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.